Hey there guys, so forgive me if I don't know how to pronounce this company's name, but at least according to Google, JSAUX reached out to me and asked if I wanted to take a look at the mod case for the ROG Ally, and of course I said yes because I've taken a look at a lot of their docks before and I'm a big fan. I actually own quite a few of their products, so I was very excited to check this out. Unfortunately, I realized that this is for the ROG Ally, not the ROG Ally X. And well, unfortunately, that's the one that I own. I actually sold my ROG Ally, but luckily I sold it to a friend. And well, he was kind enough to let me borrow it. And clearly this system has gotten quite a lot of use from him, which is great to see. It is a fantastic device. And honestly, at the price that I sold it to him and the price that I bought it for as well, we both got fantastic deals from this. Because I bought this open boxed from Best Buy a little over a year ago for about $430 or $450 with tax. And well, considering the specs that we've seen of all of the different handhelds that have come out in the last year, this thing was really a great value. So I'm really excited to see what these accessories for this system are going to be like. I'm going to be 100% honest. I am going into this expecting this whole idea of strapping this battery bank to the back of this to be kind of a ridiculous setup. I realistically would never use something like this. Immediately I could tell from the box of the power bank that this is not going to be a very lightweight setup. It's not really going to be all that ergonomic, but I am gonna give it the benefit of the doubt here. Okay, immediately holding the mod case in my hand though, I can already tell this has a pretty nice finish to it. Inside the packaging is the strap here. This strap, I don't know how well it's really gonna mount on here, but the case itself is really the thing that I'm the most excited to take a look at. Okay, it has some textured grip there. I'm actually kind of a fan of that. It has a nice rubber finish to it. The back panel right here, it does have quite a bit of ventilation. It's very solid, it's very rigid, so that seems to be what gives it the structural integrity, because the sides here are very rubbery. I'm guessing it just makes it so you could easily slip it on, and this seems to be the cover that goes with the case essentially. I don't really see any instructions in the packaging here on how to put it on, but I'm guessing we just slip it on, so I'm just gonna quickly Google that just to make sure. Okay, I found a demonstration video on how to put it on online, but this is different from how it is in the video. In the video itself, there's supposed to be some little plastic pull tabs on the corners that you kind of just use to pull it in. You essentially slip the thing in. It's pretty easy to do. You kind of do have to yank on here though, because for some reason mine doesn't have the pull tabs. It definitely seemed easier in that demonstration video, but it's on there. It's on there. You kind of just need to adjust the corners a little bit, I'm pretty sure. Okay, yeah, it seems to be on there. Everything seems to be lined up pretty good. Immediately, I can tell I really like how this feels. This feels really nice in the hand. Oh, okay, yeah, the kickstand's not great. Yeah, this kickstand is really flimsy. I mean, you can't adjust it. It only has this one angle here. It's not great. I mean, I don't think that it's gonna fall or anything like that, but it doesn't feel all that solid. That's kind of disappointing to see. It is magnetic, and you can see it has like a little magnet there. That's essentially how it holds down. So it feels very secure when it's closed. It's not gonna just flap around open. But once you're actually using it, it feels so flimsy. Like, it really feels like if you hit this thing a little too hard, like if something fell on the ROG Ally right here, it'll just end up snapping. So not great. That's a little disappointing to see. I was hoping that the kickstand would actually be good. Putting on the protective cover on this thing though, I'm actually kind of a fan of this. This feels really nice. It feels very strong. Okay, this is really the first big highlight for me. I actually really like this. I like the fact that the charging port is accessible at the top. I like how it feels all around. It seems to protect it really well. And overall, it doesn't feel very bulky, considering the fact that the case that it has on is the case that you're going to be using anyway. I am curious though, if covered up like this, it'll fit in my friend's travel case here, since I'm sure this is a common setup that a lot of people will have. Okay, it definitely is taking up a little bit more space here. It feels like it might be a little tight, but okay, yeah, no, it's actually closing. No, it did it. It fit. Okay, that's actually really nice. That means this thing's super protected in here. You don't really need to worry all that much about the sticks potentially getting damaged. This is actually really great. It's kind of disappointing that the kickstand itself isn't great quality, but this thing's awesome. But now let's take a look at the battery bank. And of course, I'm guessing this is going to be a very simple battery bank. It's not going to have anything unique about it, at least least based off of the images that I saw of it, it literally is just normal. There's nothing custom about it outside of just the name that it has. And of course, the instructions don't really give you actually any instructions at all. It's a pretty basic device. So now the real question is, how the hell am I supposed to strap this thing on here? Since again, there are no instructions on how to do that.
One eternity later.
Okay, look, I have spent quite a lot of time trying to get this thing to work, right? I have figured out how to mount it on here. You do use this strap on here that essentially attaches to the back of this through a mounting system, but the cable that it has permanently attached to the power bank is not long enough to really reach from either direction that you put it comfortably without feeling like the cable itself is so unbelievably tight that it just ends up hanging in a weird angle. Look, this is what I mean. Look at this. It's just so strained on the cable there, and it does not feel secure back here at all. The mounting system is just ridiculous. Nothing about this feels snug. Nothing about this feels secure. I can't even really hold this thing properly without, like, look at the cable. Look at the strain that it has going on there. I mean, this is ludicrous. That doesn't feel safe at all to do. And like, look, it doesn't feel secure. It feels like it's gonna fall out. If I just shake the thing, it's already falling apart. And look, you might be thinking, oh, you're doing it wrong. You set it up wrong. No, I am doing it exactly the way that it's supposed to be used here. Look, the way that it mounts is it essentially uses this strap that has these teeth that hook into here. And once you mount the top one, you just push down and it's supposed to lock on. It makes a little bit of a clicking sound, and then you're supposed to strap in the battery. The thing is, there's not really any direction that makes it feel comfortable here. The cable it has permanently attached to itself is just not long enough to do this. And when you actually try to tighten this thing, just in the process of trying to tighten it, it already starts to pop off from the locking mechanism because it actually doesn't lock in. It's barely at all holding on. So trying to get this thing in here is such a pain in the ass. This is literally the best that I could get this thing to look, and just look at that port there. It makes me want to vomit the kind of strain that is happening there. And you might have seen that it came with a second strap. I already tried the second strap. The second strap does not even work at all with this battery bank. It just seems to be designed for a completely different accessory that it will not function at all here. Like you pretty much, to be able to get it to loop around and lock, it will cover up the mounting thing. So it's clearly designed for a completely different accessory. So that means that this one is the correct one. This is the one you're supposed to use, but it does not feel secure at all. It doesn't feel like it was designed to work together, essentially. And I suspect that that's kind of the case, because if you look up videos related to the mod case here, there seems to be a different revision that had a different mounting system than this. And that seemed to hang a little bit higher towards the middle of the device than what this does. And there really is no way to adjust it to any way to get it to feel comfortable. So it falls apart trying to get it up. This locking system is just abysmal. I mean, I could just never trust my expensive device with something like this because it comes off so easy. Look at that. It just fell. It just fell right there. Just from a little bit of shaking, the kind of thing that would normally just happen with a device like this. From practically any movement, it falls apart. It doesn't feel secure. Even when it's fully tightened, it feels like the battery bank is going to slip out. Because it's off center, you can't really use it properly. The mounting system is just so absolutely awful. I mean, look, I already went into this with the expectation of this being a bad idea in general, but the execution is honestly remarkable in how bad it is. The concept of itself is dumb, but the execution is just insane. But look, I'll try to game with this thing like this just to see what the experience is like. So I ended up playing about a 15-minute game of Mega Bonk on this system, and as you can see that the case already was not working great. I did check the battery of the unit at the start of this, and it was at 75%. And so I did the entire run like this, and it felt awful to use because of the fact that just for the cable to be plugged in, the battery in the back has to be off center and slanted down, it was essentially making it very uncomfortable to hold from my right hand. It wasn't able to really grip around the system all that well. Essentially, my fingers were going underneath the battery bank, so it just felt really uncomfortable to hold. It also just does not feel secure there. You can really feel any kind of movement where the battery just starts to wiggle back and forth. It just doesn't feel good. You feel like you're really playing a balancing game where at any moment, if you jerk the wrong way, the battery is just going to end up slipping. It just never feels safe in your hands. The battery itself isn't an issue. You know, it lets you use the 30-watt TDP of the system itself, and that is what I set the system to. I did set it to its maximum. This isn't the type of title where you need to do that, but I just wanted to do that to really test what the experience would be like, because one of the benefits of something like this is the fact that you do get to access that slightly better performance from being able to go to 30 watts as opposed to the 25 watts that you're limited on from just the internal battery. But you would just have a better experience from this if you got a longer USB cable and you just sat the battery bank on the desk and had that cable plugged in. I don't really see the purpose in strapping the battery to the back here, especially because the weight increase and it being so off center and just not properly balanced makes the experience of using this not great at all. I did check the battery at the end of my run once I finally died, and the battery bank had dropped down to about 35%. And this was really disappointing to see. I really like the mod case itself. It's fantastic. In fact, I'm probably going to end up picking up one of these for my ROG Ally X. This thing's really great. And luckily you can buy just the case itself, and that'll be $30, and I think that that's really worth it. But this whole setup right here, it's so stupid. It's a stupid concept. The execution's even stupider. The fact that the USB-C cable is permanently attached here, it's all stupid. Everything about this was just poorly executed. The mounting system here seems to be really poorly done. The first revision of this somehow seems to work better. That being said, I am going to pick up the one for the ROG Ally X, and that does seem to have a slightly different kickstand and mounting system. So I already have this battery bank, so I might just see if that works together, but we'll see. Overall, I can't recommend this, but I do recommend the mod case itself. I think it honestly would have been better for them if they had just sent me this instead. Now, I do want to point out that JSAUX does have a battery upgrade kit for the ROG Ally, and I think that this is just a better route to go if you want more battery for your device. Now, this isn't as big as some of the other mod kits that you'll find out there that will go all the way up to 75 or I think it's 74 watts. This is a 65 watt upgrade kit, which is about a 50% increase from the default, since I think the default is 45 watts. That said, the benefit of this upgrade kit is the fact that it is a properly shielded battery. It's not one that you're going to have to essentially do yourself. Those other upgrade kits are very, very DIY. This is a lot more of a complete package, so it should be more of a drop-in replacement. So there is some benefit to this. But with the route that they went with the mod case and strapping the thing to the back, it just doesn't really make much sense to me. You can, of course, do this and also go down that route. And I do think that even if you upgrade the battery on your ROG Ally, you should have a battery bank to go along with it. Just not one that you're going to strap to the back. Because, I mean, the ROG Ally X has an 80 watt hour battery, and I still carry around a 25 milliamp hour battery with me just in case if I need extra battery on there, or if I need to charge my phone or a laptop or anything like that. Those things are nice to have. It's just the way that they went about doing it with this case was ridiculous. So I'm going to drop a link down to this upgrade kit as well as the mod case itself, and really only buy the case. Don't buy that battery bank thing. If you want to upgrade your ROG Ally, this is the way to go. But I'll catch you guys in the next one.